Have you ever wondered how Anyma is doing this absolutely industry-changing sounds for his new tracks? Well, that's what we're gonna learn today. Let's go! Not long ago, I have showed you how to make that crazy drop lead that he did in his track Eternity. If you want to watch it, check right there in the corner. And I was really intrigued by how this track completely changed the music industry and how everybody is trying to sound like Anyma and how is he actually doing it. And one thing that really strikes in mind is that it sounds like a good old frequency modulation. Like those leads are nothing that you hear anywhere else. So I don't see it as being like the use of the basic oscillators, but he's really deep diving into making something that is completely different to anything else. So I thought it would be a great learning thing to have a look how he did the main lead, how he did the pads and the bass lines in the breakdown. I'm going to separate this into two videos. In the first one, I'm going to show you how the main Pluck came to be, at least how I think it came to be, and we're going to try to get as close as possible with the sound. And in the second video, I'll show you how to finish that breakdown, adding some bass lines, sub bass pad, and the pads that sound like sort of like a string. So I have the original Pluck here, and this is what we're going to be doing in these two parts here. So now let's deep dive into Ableton. We're going to be using Serum and we're going to go crazy. So buckle up. Here we go. So let's pull in the instance of Serum and here we go. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to be using the frequency modulation that you find over here. You have the FM and you can FM from B, FM from noise and FM from sub. Today it's going to be crazy because we'll probably use all of those. So let's start with the oscillator A and let's pick analog and basic CW and we're going to go for the saw. So here we go. This is how it's going to sound right now. Not anything special. And now we just need to work on getting that plucky sound. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to make it sound a little bit more analog by assigning the alpha 1 to the phase, just so it moves around as the melody goes. It's going to give you that little bit of a detuned sounding. Then we're going to take the envelope 1 and assign it to the cutoff. I'm already going to change it to MG24 and let's drag it and put it on the cutoff. Basically what we want to do is to create sort of a Pluck sound. So first let's pull this a little bit higher. We don't have to go so crazy, just about this much. And then we're gonna decrease the decay, put the sustain all the way down, increase the release, and let's have a listen. It's a little better, maybe we can add a little bit more sustain there. Let's put the resonance all the way down. Okay, it's starting to sound like something. I still think we can add a little bit more click on that beginning part. So let's just take envelope 3, put it on the cutoff. And now we just need like a little bit. We don't need too much. And we put the sustain down. And we're just going to go for a very short release, like super short, just to add a little bit more click in the beginning. Maybe increase the drive so it's a little bit more punchy. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now let's turn on the oscillator B. And over here we're going to choose analog and MB saw. Now it's going to sound a little bit different. So you can hear that it's sort of phasing in between. And I want a little bit more detuned sound. So how about we just add 2 voices over here, 2 voices over here, and detune this a little bit less. Okay, so now it feels a little bit more stereo. But I noticed that in his lead, there is this like a high pitched on the top, like there's like more octaves playing at the same time. So let's go to the global and over here in the stack, and we're just gonna drag up and we're gonna go 12 times 3. If you want to listen just to it, how it changes, it's giving me like those overtones on the top, which I absolutely love. Okay, so let's go back to the idea. Maybe let's put the volumes a little bit higher over here. Just want to have this really go crazy. And now what we're going to do, we're going to click over here and we're going to click on FM from B. And now I'm just going to roll it up and listen to how it changed the sound. And you can hear that it's pretty aggressive. But as you will push a little bit higher, suddenly you get to this completely different sound, and this is the base of the sound that Anyma has in his track. I really believe that it's coming from this frequency modulation. Let's have a listen how it sounds. By the way, guys, if you find this video boring, don't forget that you can always speed it up to 1.25 or 1.5 because it's a pretty long video. And while you edit, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it so far, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any future uploads. Now I'm thinking we can add a little bit of noise. I'm just gonna go with AC hum, turn the volume up, and assign it to the filter. Let's have a listen. So it gives me the nice click in the beginning. And also we're gonna be turning on the sub, and we're gonna turn on the saw, put it to -1, keep the volume as is, and we're gonna come over here and choose FM from sub. So this is the one, and again we're just gonna be moving this around, see how the sound is gonna change. Ah, of course I forgot to turn on the filter. I think about 10% is just fine. And also gives me that low-end feel to that Pluck, which is really cool. I'm not sure about this phase over here, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change it to go with the rate over 2 bars, so it changes slightly more over time. When you think about the analog machines, as the energy circuits, you know, go up and down, the energy surges in different ways, so the note can slightly bend. So that's what I'm after. In the LFO2 though, I can just add like a little bit more of that fast one. Oh, that's nice. So we started to clip a little, so I'm gonna turn down the volume over here so we don't hear that clipping weird distortion. Nice. Now let's play with the envelope 1. I just want to give this a little bit more release because this sound just, you know, progresses. Maybe we can decrease the decay, but it doesn't matter. It's a Pluck. But we want to turn the sustain a little bit down. So it plays louder in the beginning and then it just slowly goes down and it has nice release. That's maybe too much over here, and let's maybe decrease that really slightly. And now we're getting very, very close to that original sound. Okay, so next up is going to be the FX section. This is going to be fun. Before we go to the FX section, if you guys want to deep dive a little bit deeper into music production, check out my website, readyformasterclass.com, where me and other tutors put on some really interesting masterclasses from which you can learn some really amazing beginner and advanced techniques of music production. We have over 20 courses spanning from trance, psytrance, melodic house, melodic techno, how to make melodies, how to promote your music, and much, much more. On top of that, you can check out our sound store and get some amazing preset packs, sample packs, or templates for your future productions. So now let's hop into the FX section. We're gonna start by adding some dimension to this, turn this mix all the way down, put this mix down to about, I don't know, 8%, and increase the mix just like a slight little bit. This is just about right, maybe a little bit more mix. Awesome. Now let's turn on distortion, give it a little bit of distortion. Let's increase the drive. Okay, that's not exactly what we want. Let's try a different one. Let's try soft clipping. So it's pretty nice, but I don't like how it affects the tail. So how about we put the mix down and we can use this envelope 2 and just put it here on the mix and maybe go just for like something about 50%. Let's hear it. Let's maybe put the drive all the way up. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So that click in the beginning is much more affected by this distortion. Next up, let's add some flanger so it feels a little bit more futuristic. Let's start with putting the rate down. I don't want this to change. I just want it to affect the sound. So let's put the depth down to about 26%. And let's have a listen like what's happening, and then we're gonna move around the knobs. I think there's too much phase. Let's just put it down. I want this to affect the sound just slightly. Now the sound, I want it to bend a little bit, you know, I feel like there is like some weird phasing introduced to it, like when you're doing psytrance bass line. So let's put on a phaser. Again, I'm going to put the rate down because we don't want to use it at all. And let's play a little bit with these knobs until we get that beautiful sound. Okay, let's put the depth all the way down. I think there is a little bit too much mix, so let's put that down. So you can hear how it like slightly affects the sound. And I still think that soft clipping is a little bit too much, so I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. That phase really popped it up. Oh, that's much better. It's starting to sound pretty close to the original sound. Now, we want to add some delay to the tail of it. And there's this one thing I noticed, that he's using like one really fast delay and then one that is a little bit longer, so it sort of goes like psychedelic up and down. So we're gonna start with something super short, like 132 over here. And then let's do 1/8 dotted over here. And maybe just use only the high mid frequencies. Maybe a little bit more down, somewhere around here, maybe. That's pretty cool. Now I want this delay also to pop up a little bit and, you know, squash the sound much more. So we're gonna add a multi-band compression. Of course, not as heavy as it is right now. We're gonna play around with the settings. So we're gonna start with just adding some more high end here. And also we want to pop in the mids. Maybe this would be too much high end, let's see. Maybe a little bit more of the lows as well. Again, we're clipping a little, so let's turn the volume knob down. Beautiful. Let's put the attack down because it's a little bit too slow. And we also want to have a very short release, so this happens mostly on the transient. And maybe a little bit more threshold. Maybe a short release would still help. Oh, I like how this where's getting. Okay, now most important thing, the reverb. I purposely didn't put it before the compression because it would just completely like fill up the sound. So I'm gonna put it over here. So let's start with adding it in. Okay, let's do some low cuts and maybe a little bit more mix over here and maybe increase the decay. I think maybe a little bit more mix would help here. And maybe some more high cut. Okay, that's all pretty cool. Let's insert an EQ and let's just shape the sound to our liking. So I'm gonna start over here and let's just go somewhere around those high mids, like 2030, 2300. And let's just increase the Q and let's just increase the gain. Okay, let's go for like less. We just want to increase those high mids. Now, I already did this preset before, and now I just want to check out how it's going to sound to that preset that I did before. Let's see if we just got close enough. So I'm gonna load it over here in the second Serum, and I just want to know if it works. By the way, what you're looking at is the future ReOrder producer sample pack. It's almost ready, and it's gonna be coming out in the end of November. I'm so excited because I spent so much time working on these sounds. It's still not super ready, but it's really getting there. Okay, let's have a look at what it is. I'm guessing it's called Lead Eternity. Yeah. Unfortunately, when I was recording this, my Ableton crashed and the project won't open, so we will not be comparing it, but at least I can show you that preset. Here we go. And this is how it sounds in the preset pack. And as you can see, all those crazy FMs are there. Well, anyways, guys, the lead is done. I hope you learned heaps from this video. Please let me know what you think about it down in the comments. I'm really excited to hear from you. And I'm also so thankful for all of the subscribers that subscribe to the channel. And we are building a really nice community of people that want to learn how to actually make music. And I really love to show you all, guys, that it's actually very easy to do. In the next video, we're gonna be looking how to make that pad, which sounds like strings, and the bass lines that are in the breakdown of Anyma Eternity. Thank you very much for watching. Before you go, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you won't miss any future uploads. So thanks again, and see you for the next one. Ciao! By the way, guys, if you're still watching, check out my Patreon, because I have already uploaded this preset there for free, so you can play around, use it in your tracks, modify it, and just go crazy with the FM synthesis. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Ciao.